Good morning, ladies. My name is Chaz, and welcome to the What If Deku was a lava monster. So, yeah. And this is not clickbait thing. So, now let's begin with explaining of how I got this idea. So I was watching One Piece, and then I thought about if magma fruit and the gas fruit fused together. So then then I was like, okay, found a crazy idea. So then let's continue. So then I thought, how about turning our main favorite character, Zuko Midoriya, into it. So let's begin. So that's how I got the idea. Now we're starting the story. So Zuko and Zumi, I'm also adding Zumi into this what if, so just a heads up. You could read the description. And yeah. So now with that out of the way, let's jump right into the what if. So yeah. So Zuko ends up Zuko and Zumi been born on the same day but in different times. So then, yeah, at age of 4, they go to the Quark Doctor. I'm saying Quark Doctor. Every time I'm like talking into the microphone, it sounds like I'm saying like Quart Doctor. So yeah. Now, without further ado, let's keep going. So the doctor tells Zuko, first he tells Zumi that Zuko's sister, that she has a quirk and she can become a hero. And so she's all happy about it. But then it changed a lot in their lives. So what I mean is basically the doctor went over to Zuko and told him that he is quirkless. And yeah, everybody makes fun of him. So after that, everybody abandons him. And so and his girlfriend dumps him, and his girlfriend's name is called Ochako, and she chose Bakugo because he has more potential and he has a power or quirk compared to him without any of them realizing that Zuku's was the most powerfulest entity in the universe. So let's continue. So Zuko, because he was abandoned, he went into this strange cave. It was had magma, like lava around. When he went closer and closer, as he was born with actual powers of the flames or of lava. So he's basically a Logia type person from, it's like taking One Piece's character and changing its or abilities to suit the My Hero Academia universe. So yeah. So then so he jumps into lava. Or actually, he walks around as he's breathing much better. His heart starts to, like, his powers really manifested when he was near lava. As he turns, or he grew to, like, a monster level. Like one that you see before you. Not these little gremlins, but the actual big monster. As he grew to size of the real monsterish. Like, he could grow to the true beast. So, as he relaxed in the lava, like he just like, well, he was just laying in the lava. Like, the lava covers him and making him much more powerful than anyone. As, it evolved him into more. So, but then, over time, a couple days later, he created these offsprings. Like the magma. Or so he used his own power. He created these monsters. Some look more human. The others just look more like what you see on your screen. Like this one, these ones, and these. Yeah. Some look more human than others. So, and so, a time skip to All for One versus All Might. So, during the time skip, he also leaves the cave to go to the non-quirk school. So in this story, there is a school for quirkless people. And he made a lot of friends, some new friends that don't actually see him as a name, like, oh, you need the quirk to survive in modern day thing. So, yeah. So, yeah. And certain, so yeah. So that's during the time. So, yeah. So then at the end, or so during the time skip all the way to All for One versus All Might arc, as All for One says, any last words? As he says that to All Might. And before All for One, or no, before All Might answered, a pipes, like sewer, the ground started to rumble as a giant hand shoots from a manhole cover, grabbing All for One, pulling him into that, and dragging him all the way to where he met the king, or the, not king, the lava monster's lair. As the lava monster, the one that you see before you, this big guy was annoyed because one person that the lava monster, aka Izuku, really respects the most is All Might. So then All for One was like, huh, that's a first. And then they have this big battle, and Zuko just straight up melts All for One to nothing. Well, the heroes, the citizens, and most of the villains are confused of what power is that, or what quirk is that, as everybody's like wondering during it. So then because most of the heroes were knocked out because of fumes. So they don't know what happened. But so newscast was like covering their mouths and like still recording this happening. And everyone's like wondering, what is this? Is this some type of villain? And yeah, all that stuff. So then we move on to like the investigation. So the aftermath, basically. And the pro heroes are like trying to come up with some like thoughts about it, and the yeah. So so before the All for One arc, I forgot to mention the so one of the Zuku's offsprings named like her name is based on the Mary Jane Watson, but instead of Mary Jane Watson, it's a Mary Jane Lava. That's her name. As she joins UA. As she goes by that name because, yeah. And so no one knew about it. So Mr. Ozawa thought if Mary Jane Watson, or no, Mary Jane Lava is probably one behind it. Because she's the only one that can control lava. But they didn't know about her father was the one that did that. So, yeah. Zuko was pretty tough. And he's more secretive, like mystery. Keeping his family safe. So, yeah. Then, a couple days have passed. Overhaul arc. As she joins in. As she's scared. Overhaul's about to, like, slam his fist in, like, crushing her. Was about to crush her, but then a monstrous appearance of her father comes out of the ground as he roars with a deep roar. So deep that even glass surrounding the area started to break. And the heroes are just like, oh boy. Izuku comes in as he punched right through the All for One. And so, yeah. Basically, he saved his own daughter from getting smushed. As he turns after All for One was like melted into a puddle, as he turns to look at his own daughter. As she says, I'm okay, Father. As everyone's like in shock. Bakugo, Todoroki, Ochako, and everybody was in shock. including Zumi. Every single student, or no, every single Class 1A student was stunned. Like, they could not believe that this lava monster was able to just like straight up melt all for or melts overhaul as the lava monster left. As Zumi had this weird feeling that she probably knew who that lava monster was. So, one day, so after that day, she asked the lava girl to, like, because she wants to know who this lava monster is. So, then she says, sure. It's been a while since we actually had company, actually. So they went into the cave as the lava monster was there. As he looks at his daughter with a soft growl and a deep tone. So, how was school? That's what he said. And, Zumi Midoriya, it's an honor meeting you. Yeah. So, then she ends up. So, his daughter's like, I had a great day. Almost got smushed before. But how do you know my classmate? That's easy. Zumi, I know why you're here. As he looks at her, because you're curious if I was who I am. Or should I say was. So, am I right? And Zumi says yes. Because you feel so familiar. Because I am. Cover your eyes. Azumi covers her eyes as he transforms into a human, like back into his original self. as he went from being a monster and he turns into a kid as he walks up to his sister, and his sister says, "Can I open them?" "Sure." As she looks up, or she opens her eyes, as she could not believe it, her own brother standing right in front of her with a suit on, full-size suit. Because, yeah. And he says, "It's good to see you, Moe. It's been a long time, hasn't it?" So, yeah. Zumi can't believe it. She connected the dots, and she could not believe it. "Zuko, is this like your quirk?" "No, but it's actually my real power. I was born with this power." As he turns his arm into a lava monster, or into lava, yeah, and then back to normal. As she could not believe it. That her own brother is the first ever elemental powered person. So in this story, or in this timeline one, there's a new level that only, it's a legendary rarest one. Like super legendary, ultimate rare of 1 out of infinity amount. That's how much. That's very, very low chance. But when her brother is that 1%, then she realized that her brother was the most powerful elemental in the entire world. As she could not believe that her own brother is that. It makes him the first person to actually reach that level. Yeah, it's crazy. Dun dun dun. Yeah. So then she walks over. She hugs him as she could not believe it. Because in this story, lava powers, or so the elemental powers, it would be like his actual powers, is like he is the force of nature, basically. So, yeah. So, during the night, she goes back, or she goes home after realizing that her brother is the elemental, powerful force of nature thing. Before she left, she says to him, "No matter how powerful you are, you're still my brother." As she says that. Yeah, I know. So then, when she arrived back home, Ochako, or no, not Ochako, Inko was worried that because the lava monster was thought that consumed her own daughter too. So, but she's kind of stunned of how happy. But then when she told them, when Zumi told them about the lava monster is actually as yeah, she ended up like she could not believe that her own son is the monster, as she could not believe that, because everyone in this story knows that it's just a myth to be born with elemental powers, like actual powers. So when Zuko, or when, not Zuko, when Zumi told her and her father, they both at first didn't believe her. So the next day, Zuko actually has a feeling. Because he's sleeping, and as he looks at his daughter is sleeping in a rocky bed. Like, basically, as most of his kids, like his offsprings, were not very, like, basically chaotic. And so there's actually two characters that look more human. Him and her. So Zuko actually took his daughter to school. Little did they know that Zuko, or little did they know that Inko was there. And she thought, her first thought was that the lava girl was her son's girlfriend. But Zuko says, "Have fun, daughter." Thanks, I will. Then Inko realized that the lava girl was actually Zuku's daughter. So, yeah. Aries sees, because she is so connected to, like, the lava girl home. That's Mary Jane Lava, his hero name. That, yeah. She actually, when she met Zuko for the first time, he looks, sorry, he looks more, or she's like excited. And hold on. So yeah, Zuko actually meets her, and hold on, sorry, getting interrupted again. So here it is. Now let's continue this what if. So without any further ado, so now Zuko was about to leave UA as Inko followed him. As she's wondering why did he ignore her? But then one of his other offspring, him, went to just a other school, and when Zuko took his offspring, him, to school, he went down the hallway, and the villains were like, huh, I mean, this is our hallway, so get your own. As she's scared that as Zuko says, leave these guys to me. You just go to school. Here. As Zuko walks up to the villains, as she's scared out of their minds, out of her mind. But then something happened. Zuko's entire right hand, or the entire right arm, melted or transformed into a lava monster's one, and grabs all the villains, slamming them against the wall. As he says, don't pick on my son like that. As she could not believe it. He went, as Zumi was speaking the truth. Zuku was actually one of those elementals. People that aren't born with a normal quirk. They were born with powers. Actual powers. And plus the elemental powers, where it's similar to how Logia types are more powerful than a non-powered user. So Zuko's like, no. As he just like as he keeps walking past, as she could not believe it. Her own son is the most powerfulest, dangerous elemental in the entire universe. Yeah. So, plus they didn't know that they didn't know that Zuko actually was the one that killed All for One. So, yeah. Then Zuko was like, went to like a grocery store to pick up some groceries and plus some charcoal to like basically him cooking. As Inko was terrified that her own son is that. But then at the end of the day, she went home and told Asashi this. Our daughter was speaking the truth. Really? Yeah, I saw like him using his powers nailed the 5 villains onto the wall with molten lava cocooning them. Alright, yeah, I believe you. So the next couple days have passed. And it was finally Asashi's turn to take Zumi to there. As it happened the same thing. As Asashi's face was like, went from like calm demeanor to like whatever, our son's quirkless, to what the heck type of moment. So, yeah. So then Zuko ends up basically telling. So finally, Zuko finally, Zumi's parents were like, or Zuko was just relaxing, near the shoreline. As he puts his finger on the water, or just scraping it, and he plays in the water. So then, yeah, so then his parents shows up. And yeah. And I forgot to mention, let me clarify this up for you. So Zuku being like was a lava monster, and so he doesn't have the same weakness as, like, say, lava to water stuff. So yeah. So Zuko ends up basically he's immune to everything. And his powers, so he has no weakness. So yes. So now let's move on. So Sashi and Inko apologize to him as he's like, really? As they said that they're sorry for mistreating him and they wanted him back in the family, all that stuff. But then Zuko's like, you didn't know that I had this much power, so I wasn't mad at any of you. Only person that I'm mad about is the Quirk Doctor making that mistake. As when Inko was stunned about this, like, he wasn't mad at her or anyone else except for the Quirk Doctor for making that mistake. Because he actually did have a quirk, and that makes it super natural, like a natural one. So, like, basically a mystery that makes it like way smaller limit than, or like, chances of actually having a power and a quirk at the same time. Normally, you could either have one or the other, not both. But because Zuko was actually born with a quirk, too, so he, yeah, so then his mother, so he gets out of water, first of all. He walks over and he hugs his own mother as he just says, sorry for not telling you earlier. I was never mad at you or any of it except for the Quark Doctor. So, yeah. As she finally says to him, she finally says, who was that girl that day that when I took your sister in to UA? Oh, her name is Mary Jane Lava. She is my daughter. Uh, because my power allowed me to basically. I need someone to hanging out with me. So, yeah, with all that stuff, uh, as she can't believe it. He was playing as a corkless kid for so long that even he to make every single one of them feel a lot better about themselves. As he says, I used or for example, making Bakugo feel better about himself, not knowing that his once friend, we used to be friends. Hmm. As he says, I was the one that wanted him to be better by himself without needing my help and all that stuff. So, yeah. And it was none of your faults. I'm not blaming any of you, except for the Quark Doctor, of course. As Inko hugs her own son, and she's happy that he didn't hold any grudges against her or any family. Okay? Plus, so that when Sashi says, so you just let us believe that you were weakling to make ourselves feel better? Yeah. Because the because the moment is that yeah. So then, after they had the talks thing, and it's good to see you, Hawaii. Now, as he knows, he didn't tell them that he was the one that killed All for One. And he did win. The Izuku won. And so, yeah. And then All for One, or so, then Izuku found where the Quirk Doctor's actual lab was. And in this story, the doctor wasn't actually at the clinic. He just had a body double there. So then his real self was at the laboratory, like a lab, right on the near Zuku's cave nearby. As Zuku found it, and he knows who it is. As Zuku says, "There you are. Now I'm real mad." So then Zuko walks in and as lava pouring down the steps as the Quirk Doctor smells the fumes of it. As he turns around, all terrified, as the kid comes out of nowhere. "You made my life the living heck. But now, you might be wondering what happened to All for One that fateful day. As Zuko, or as the Quirk Doctor says, or Zuko says that to him. So then, the Quirk Doctor looks at Zuko's with wide eyes. Wide eyes. "You were the one that killed him, didn't you?" "Yes, because I knew it was you." "Calling me quirkless. You didn't realize that this will be your downfall." Because his actual quirk is called the sleeping or emotional sleeping. So it was like his limit. So then Zuko used his full power and he melted the entire laboratory, the entire lab, with just a snap of his fingers. The work that the Quirk Doctor tried, or experiments, melted into oblivion. The Nomus that were still in development was melted to the pile of ashes. And yeah, there was nothing left after Zuku's. Yeah. So he kills the court doctor right then and there. And then he swam out of there quicker than most people. So then, yeah. He did pick up his daughter from UA and his son from the different school. So, yeah. Bakugo and Ochako, here. Hold on. MHA Ochako and Bakugo. So, yeah. This one. So, Bakugo and Ochako was just. They were dating. As. Because Ochako chose him, Bakugo, over Zuko, because, yeah. So then. But when they see him, they thought their first reactions was that that lava girl was dating that loser. But when lava girl called him, called Zuko her father, she was like, or they're looking at each other's wait, did we miss something? As they did not realize that Zuko had a daughter that's the same age, looks almost similar to him. But then, yeah, all that stuff. Hold on. Just have to mute it real quick. So, hold on. So, now, I'm back. So, yeah, reason why I'm making this a full movie instead of parts of it is because of how it is. So, now, let's continue. So, Ochako and Bakugo were trying to think that it is weird that the lava girl is actually the daughter of Zuko Midoriya. So, basically, everyone finds that weird. So, later down the line, later down the line, Zuko was being, Zuko. So then the students, or so his kid, and were like, yeah, we were mostly talking about that lava monster. We were talking about you. Yeah? And so, as she actually knows, and her brother knows the truth. Because Zuko was the one that killed All for One. So then after that whole moment thing, switch over to Bakugo and Ochako. So they decided to try reconnecting with Zuko. To get some answers out of him. So, as one of them says, or let's say Ochako says, so, you have a daughter? Yeah, so? Dang. Who did you steal her from? I'm not a thief, Bakugo. He actually says the name. So, then Zuko says so we were thinking we all should meet up and hang out all together. Yeah, but I'm busy with, oh, come on, Zuko. It's going to be fun. Not for me. I'm busy. Come on. As Bakugo says, come on. We haven't seen you in a while, so since we called you quirkless. And how's your new friends doing? Pretty good. As they both went to swim. And or basically Zuko walks Ochako and Bako to their houses. So, and went down the dark alleyway, and the villains were about to attack into Bakugo and Ochako because they know that both of them are students, heroes. As Bakugo's get out of the way. As Zuko used, or so the villains stopped their attacks when they saw Zuko's, and they were like, oh crud, as they tried to run away, as the floor underneath them melted their shoes. As Ochako and Bakugo turned and looked at, so Bakugo was dumbfounded. Like, wait, so what happened? Huh. Oh, did I not tell you guys? Remember when I say I was busy? Hold on. So then he tells them, I'll be right back. As Zuko says it with a grin voice. As Ochako's like, what are you gonna do? As I'm gonna glue them onto the wall a second time. Or third time. Or last time. As he transforms his right arm into a magma. As the villains are screaming, no, please, no, not that again. No, no, no. As they get, like, molded right into the wall. They were screaming with so much pain. As he says, that would be the last time. Next time, I'll just straight up put you through the floor. Or feed you to my own kids back at home. As he says it with the most scariest voice ever. As Bakugo does not remember Zuko being this hardcore. Not even Ochako could even remember him being this cruel. As Zuko says, but at least this time, it's better for you to be nailed onto the wall. I'm having a great day. Try not to ruin it for me. As he tells the villains, as the villains were still screaming and using a bunch of cuss words. And he actually knows one specific one that kept, like, trying to ask Zuko's daughter out for the date. Like, you know how Vander Decken, I believe, I'm so bad at One Piece's characters' names. The fish guy that has the mark fruit that he wants to make the underage kid be like forcing her to, like, get married to him type thing. So when Bakugo and Ochako realized that their friend was completely different from the why they known him for so long, but then because of what he was, they used to know him as a most gentle person, but then since after that was before the quirk doctor's mistake. Then he turns into this, like, a person that is very protective, and he is also the father of the lava girl. So, yeah. So then Zuko is like, sorry about that. You had to watch. But, yeah. So, as he looks at the guy that was. Because he knew that the guy wanted the lava girl to marry him, like forced to marry him. Next time, I should just put you in magma cocoon with no air to breathe, just fumes, and then boom, dead. As Bakugo and Ochako did not realize how much he has changed. He went from being like a sweetest boy of all times that even wanted to be a hero to being absolute, like how Bakugo is. As Bakugo even realized it. So, let's continue walking, as Zuko says. As he puts Ochako down and Bakugo at their houses, as he says, and by the way, I was never upset with any of you two. And Bakugo, good job on moving on, by the way. You needed someone to allow you to climb to be number one. So Bakugo tells Zuko, I need one question to ask. Okay, and that would be, well, are you the elemental or element powerful, like force of nature? Yes, I'm a special type version. I have a quirk that is my limit, named Elemental Sleeper. And then my actual powers. So then, when Bakugo heard that Zuko has a quirk that is his limit, he says to him, or Bakugo says to Zuko that, so he, so Bakugo answers so Zuko answers, plus, I don't mind you calling me weakling. But really, did you really call me the, like, quirkless loser? That I'm not mad at any of you. So then, so Ochako, like, she could not believe it. So when she told her parents that, this is what she says. You know the Zuku? Oh, the quirkless kid? Yeah, what about him? Well, he's a elemental. As the room fell silent, her parents were shocked because they know when someone says elemental in that universe, a person with that stats are overpowered of which elements. So lava is the most overpowered one. Mixed with gas, man, it makes him more dangerous than anyone. So when Ochako's parents heard that Zuko was actually the elemental, they could not believe it. They slammed their heads onto walls as why did as they're trying to get their like they were trying to catch their breath because Zuko is a lava monster and he's the most dangerous one. And so Ochako's parents were even like telling Ochako that I know that you just threw it away. I know that we encouraged you to like go for Bakugo, but now with that stuff out of the way, so the next day, Zuko was coming to school, he's about to drop off his sister, not his sister, his daughter, and before he left, Ochako asked Zuko about how would he feel about her dating him instead. Or like restarting their date thing. As he says, sure. After all, I wasn't mad at any of you except for the Quark Doctor. But I took care of him. AKA, as Ochako says, you killed him. Yeah. So then, she actually loves him so much that she even would rather spend every day with him. And so the pro heroes are like, okay, we need to figure out what happened to All for One. And so All for One basically tells... So, actually, All Might tells Zuko... All Might tells them that if he had One for All, then... Because in this alternate timeline, he gave one for all to Zumi. Basically, the Zuku's sister has it now. And then, yeah. So, the pro heroes are confused about why this kid has a daughter. So then, one day after that, Ochaku, or actually Zuku, or no, Eraserhead's like wondering that same question. So he went to follow Zuku into the cave, or not into the cave. He just sat down at a park bench. As Mr. Ozawa was sat down with him, saying that, I heard that the rumors spread about, like, the Lava Girl defeated the All for One. Really? May I tell you something? To be honest with you? He actually, or who actually does, or you know who actually did it? Who? Me. As a couple of villains that were like attack, or they're ready to attack, as they lump or jump out, and Zuko looks over at or Zuko says, "Mr. Zawa, get down." As Zuko's arm turned into magma, as the villains realized, as Zuko swings his arm backwards, as the villains flew as they were like, or he's like, that's what you get when no sneaking up behind me or my friends. As he looks over at, it was the same dude. And you, as he looks at the guy that keeps dating the Lava Girl owns, why are you so interested in my daughter? As Mr. Ozawa says, your daughter? As Mr. Ozawa thought, so then he asked, is Lava Girl, that lava student, is your daughter? Yes. She is my offspring. Because I was born as the elemental. As when Eraserhead saw that, he was like, wait, what? His eyes widen. It makes sense. So he says, it makes sense that you're the most powerful, dangerous person in the entire, or no, you're way more powerful than anyone. The entire city just stopped, like it was frozen when they heard him say that he was born as a elemental. So everybody's like, wait, what? Volume warning. What? So, yeah. Everybody says that all at once. It would probably break everyone's eardrums. And yeah, Zuko was like, yeah, it's kind of weird. Sorry. Trying to scroll. Yes. So yeah. Then everybody's like, it makes sense that you're the most dangerous one. So then Mr. Ozawa recruits him to join UA. And then when he goes to UA with his daughter, then everybody's like, whoa, that's crazy. And then, yeah. So I'm going to leave it off here because I'm hearing a lot of background dogs things. So please leave a like, share, subscribe, comment, and do all that fun stuff. Peace.